All right, what's good, family? What's good? I see y'all already in the chat. I shared the link before the show this time. Let me know if y'all hear me before we start. Let me know if y'all hear me, if the audio's good. I want to make sure. Yeah, y'all know AA slang, right? You heard me? You know AA gonna say that at least 20 times tonight. You heard me? He gonna say that. He gonna say legend another 20 times. He gonna say sock it to my pocket 10 times. You know, he got his own lexicon. That's what makes this brother so unique and so special. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, ask mommy. Yeah, ask mommy. Yeah, ask. Yeah. Hey, you a legend, brother. You a legend.
Thank you.
Listen, let's while A get himself together. Let me get into a few ads real quick. Let me share with y'all something. Share something with y'all real quick. I gotta get this. Where is this at, y'all? I'm sorry, y'all. My desktop is messy. I gotta clean my desktop, family. I'm sorry. You all right over there, AA?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
All right, good. Oh, you know, I don't even have to do that because I got it here. Yeah, we're gonna have a good show for y'all tonight. Make sure you share this link, hit the like button, and if you want to stay updated with the channel, in the description bar, there's a number that you could text to stay updated. It's active again. It wasn't active for a little while, but it's active again, family. So make sure you sign up to stay updated because you know how YouTube be. You know what I'm saying, family? But real quick, shout out to King Simon, one of the best when it comes to numerology. Hit that man up, text him full name and date of birth, 347-496-1022. Brother will definitely help you out. Glucose support formula is now available. Diabetes is the enemy, and glucose support formula is your weapon. They got to sell for 3 bottles. Hit up the website, riversidetai.chi.com. Woke doesn't mean broke. Billy Carson, the book is a bestseller on Amazon. Billy Carson got 2 bestsellers now on Amazon. Shout out to Billy Carson, but go check the book out and learn some financial literacy. The hat that I'm wearing today, the crown, Copper Child Mike L. Hit that number up, family. Get your crown, get your family member a crown, your cousin, your uncle, whoever, get whoever needs it. Yeah, you got he blessed you with one before, right, AA?
Hell yeah. If you ain't nobody unless you got one of sun hats anyway.
That's facts.
I got one of them.
That's facts. That's facts, man. Hey, fam, what's going on with your shout out to I seen I got a donation already. Shout out to Royston Gibbs, sock it to my pocket. Shout out to that brother. Show some love. That's important. You know, the things we talk about, so many distractions, you know, out there in the world. You know, the things we talk about usually aren't you know, in TMZ approved lists, but it's important to us in our culture, in our community. So we talk about it anyway. And this brother tonight helped usher in the metaphysical movement in the early 2000s. I remember when the brother first came home from jail, and the brother wrote several books, and the brother's a genius. And the genius about the brother is the way he talks about metaphysics is easy for people who normally aren't into metaphysics to understand it. Case in point, I remember when he came home and he did a lecture in LIU, and my girl was really vibing, and she understood certain things about the Kabbalah that he was talking about. And I was surprised. I was like, oh shit, you know, this is the first time hearing about the Kabbalah. This is like 2007 or something, or 8 or something like that. And I'm like, wow, this brother really has a way of just reaching and teaching the people. So the brother's unique in his approach. He's raw a lot of times. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, man, why are you so raw? He'd be like, man, this is how I am, Rich. So you can't contain him. You can't dilute him. The brother's going to be who he's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it is. Where you at, my brother? Let's get this show started, man. Make sure, family, once again, make sure y'all text that number in the description for to stay updated with the channel, because YouTube don't notify my people for whatever reason. So make sure you hit I'm gonna stay real active on that on the number. Shout out to all my Patreons. I got a video. If you are a Patreon, the last video, a lot of people ask me when I'm gonna what I'm gonna do with the cryptocurrency workshop. That's on Patreon. The last 2 cryptocurrency workshops is on Patreon. So you get an extremely discounted rate for that workshop if you go to Patreon. Even the last workshop with me and Billy Carson is on Patreon. So there's a lot of goodies on Patreon, but I'm about to upload. I'm about to be much more active on Patreon anyway. So thanks for my Patreons for being supportive. I don't know what happened with AA. His thing just lost. He'll come back on. But yeah, shout out to all my Patreons. Make sure you go to patreon.com/blackmagic363 if you would like to support this channel on a monthly basis. That could be $5, but it goes a long way. It helps me to get stuff like this that you see behind me and have a nice metaphysical background that represents black magic. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Sci-Fi in the building. I see Sci-Fi. I don't know if you've been here lately, but I haven't been seeing your name. But shout out to Sci-Fi. So yeah, she's always holding it down in the chat. So I'm gonna wait for AA to come back. We got a packed house, man. 363. We got 363 in the building. That's what my computer say, 363, and that's my channel 363. But talk to me, family. What's going on with y'all? Y'all see everything going on with the news, the George Floyd trial, and a lot of people wanted me to do a video on Little Nas X video. I couldn't. First of all, I ain't watched the whole video. I can't do a whole video on that. But I will ask AA about the whole satanic thing in hip hop. We'll touch on that briefly tonight. But yeah, I didn't want to do a whole video about that buffoonery. We pretty much know the agenda. They're getting more and more blunt and in your face with their agenda. They're not trying to hide a lot no more. That's a sign of desperation. I mean, very desperate at this point. What's the significance of the number 363? I don't know. It just came to my mind. A lot of times I just do what comes to my mind. I just follow my intuition. So I don't know. It just came to my mind when I was making a YouTube channel name, and I just chose that. Right now we're waiting for AA. He's having a little technical difficulties. So we're waiting for AA to come back on. So I'm just chopping it up with y'all real quick while the brother AA come back on, and we're going to get busy on a metaphysical tip. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Evolve. No, I'm not promoting the Magic Money book, but you just reminded me. Somebody sent me money for it, and I didn't send it to them. All right, you just reminded me. I got to do that after the show. But yeah, I'm not promoting no more. But I guess people are still seeing the old videos and getting it. So you still could get it technically. You will have to hit up my my Cash App for that. You send $10. Like the Cash App is right there, Black Magic 363. You can send $10 and leave your email, and I'll send it to you. If you sent money in for the Magic Money and you didn't get it yet, also text that number and I'll be sure to get it over to you. But I know there's one person that hit me up a couple of days ago and I forgot to send it out. So I'm gonna send that out. All right, family. Damn, where AA at, man? That was me. LOL, I want my book. Icon Von. Okay. Text that number, Icon, and I'll be sure. Okay. No, I'm not gonna be able to get your email from here. Text that number. I'm gonna get it to you right after the show. Right after the show, I'll get that over to you. I apologize for the delay, but you definitely gonna enjoy that book. I'm gonna come out with you. I'm coming out with these shirts soon, y'all. That says I'm gonna have merch, right? So the shirt gonna say it's gonna be spelled out. It's gonna say money on it, right? But the money is gonna say money and what's that? Is that apostrophe? No, that's what is that shit that go over the letter? Damn. Oh, I forget, man. But it's gonna money is my own natural energy yield. So it's MONEY, my own natural energy yield, because we're redefining what money is. And if you look at money that way, you will understand that you can never be broke. These are metaphysical concepts, and the only true source of currency is yourself. So we have to, when we understand that, the wealth will chase us. We don't have to chase it. And I'm more confident than I've ever been in that concept. It takes a while to grow confidence in that concept, and that's why we study. Because when we study it gives us confidence, you know. So yeah. Will you get Azazel Bay on any time on any soon? Peace, bro, Rich. Yeah, yeah. I'll try to. I'll try to. Parentheses. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it is. Parentheses. Thank you, Barbara. Parentheses. I was good at grammar in elementary school, so I'm mad that I didn't. I forgot that, but I was very good at grammar. Very very good at grammar in elementary school. Yes, and wealth comes in many forms. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. When people give you gifts, you know, this hat I got is a gift. You know, shit, a lot of things I get gifts all the time for being brother rich. So that's a part of my wealth, you know. Here go AA right here. Let's get started. I know y'all like, where's AA? There was technical difficulties, rap box, but he back. He right here. Yo, A, you good?
The legend returns.
Yes,
You
sir.
know? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yo, AA, man, you was saying some interesting. The last two times I talked to you, today and yesterday, you've been dropping heavy gems on me, bro. And this metaphysical March Madness, we don't, you know, the metaphysical community is nowhere near what it used to be in the early 2000s, bro. So when I have you on here, you know, don't go light on us, brother, because we need that heavyweight shit, bro. Don't go light on. Don't think we babies in here. We real students to the metaphysical game in here.
That's right.
Let's start out with the concept. You was telling me, you know, the whole world is talking about cryptocurrency. You was telling me shit. The conscious community is a Bitcoin. Talk to me about that concept because we're redefining what wealth is in this new paradigm. And what did you mean by the conscious community is a Bitcoin? Could you start out? Could you go into that a little bit?
Well, what we had, what we had, and what we still have is a conversation about something that is dear to the hearts of all humanity. We all have nervous ganglia in our body that is from millions and millions of years ago, and we all communicate through symbols. So for post-slave experience of African Americans in North America, for us to be participating in a conversation that transfers our mindset of worship on spooky gods into actually being able to access what God is on a very tangible spiritual perspective is something that can only be expressed through the nuanced language of metaphysics. So you'll find certain cultures that that still uphold the mandates.
Hey, is there any way you could turn? I'm sorry, brother. Is there any way you could turn the volume up a little bit? A couple of people.
What if I get closer?
Okay, that's better. Yes, yes, sir. That's better. Yeah.
So I'm of the mind that the conscious community was inundating itself and with people who was coming to the events with information about specific spiritual concepts that was like way beyond people's understanding at a very significant point in our experience, right? And what it was doing was it was inundating the community with a value system that I don't think we had. We didn't have increments of value to establish as to how important it was. So I said, okay, I see where the value was. It was in the DVDs because everybody couldn't come to the lecture sometime. So I said, our Bitcoin is our gatherings. It's the collective consciousness of us all seeking to find essentially something that you can't really put your hands on. You heard? We're talking about, like, if you want to talk about religion, a nigga could go get a cross. You talk about Islam, all you gotta do be a Muslim is just to do the prayers and go get you some Islamic regalia. You could be pump faking like you Jewish. You know, Jews like to see niggas with Jewish shit on them, right? So you be like this, okay, we can access those things, but what about, tell me where is God at? Point to where God is at. right? And you can't do that in regular language. We was doing that by participating in what Reverend Valentine and them had called the metaphysical dark tank, you know, the think
Dark
tank,
matter think tank, yeah.
dark matter think tank. So now people from that era of consciousness know that those things that were shared in those periods, nobody was watching us, bro. I was talking to Blue Pill about this earlier. We was doing consciousness work, my brother. I promise you, what nobody doing this type of work, you heard, at all. Nobody was even watching. It wasn't no value system where people gonna be like this. Now, if somebody hear that you conscious, it adds on to your character. Back in the day when we was doing that, niggas was like, you going to what? Niggas be like, this nigga, you weird. You heard, you crazy. This nigga going out there and listening to some niggas talk about space and all of that, son. You heard? Boom. We was not wanting to be seen doing some amazing stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're making me feel crazy. You got that background. I gotta get me a background too. I'm not doing this shit with you no more until I get a background. That shit is lit. You my man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
For real. So the coin, we was creating a value system that we didn't have nothing, a physical modicum to actually show for, except for the DVDs. So I seen our coin be very valuable. You remember, it was a time that I said, yo, these DVDs, I'd rather you hold them, but don't sell these to everybody, bro, because these DVDs is $150. I had DVD sets that I was selling 4 DVDs for $400. You heard? Like that. Niggas like, how can you do that and all of this? I said, no, ain't nobody watching. Ain't nobody over here. Ain't no big old rappers and athletes and at the time sitting up watching us, inundating no current into it. I said, we got to establish a value system. One of the things we got to do is clean up the appearance of the product.
You was always big on that. Yeah, you was big on that.
Huge on that, because I used to make my all my money off of DVDs. I don't think dudes, first of all, I love hustlers. Anybody that can get some money, get up. You from Harlem. That's in y'all water. The water in Harlem is different. You heard? If you're from Harlem, y'all got hustle in you. You heard? That ain't like everywhere. I'm blessed from being downtown Brooklyn. You heard? That's the closest you can get to Harlem is downtown Brooklyn. Anybody watching, you heard, to know the type of people. Because you know this, you in Brooklyn, you get past Bedford Avenue, that shit is another planet. You know what I'm saying? They call that the planet of Brooklyn, right? Boom. That's a whole nother stratosphere. So I'm like this. When I was little, I used to sell crack to adults when I was 15, 16, 17 years old. And not to embellish or to make that a thing to be like, yo, to praise. That's not nothing to praise. It's just to give you clarity that I felt like if I could sell crack to adults as a child, why I can't sell DVDs to adults as an adult? You heard? And I remember when I added value to myself, it was the day that I had a job when I came home. Shout out to my man Shahid and Rashid, the twins. They from my hood, and my man Ernie lined it up for me, made it so I can get a job. As soon as I came home, I had a job, bro. I felt good about myself. I promise you, I felt good after I cashed the check, bro. I used to have $290 something, and I used to be feeling good about myself. You heard? I promise you. I had already did one lecture. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, boom. So I remember with the little stupid ass flip phones, I had the little Sprint flip phone, and I remember that I used to be airing out my minutes because I was so happy to have a goddamn telephone in my hand that my whole check go to the phone. You heard?
Right.
So I was like this. The job, I got fired because one day a lady died at the front office, and one of the employees was her son. And the next day, this nigga owned the whole shit. You heard? So he got rid of all the black people that wasn't that wasn't unionized. He changed the color of the help if you wasn't unionized. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
He got
Mm.
all of the darkness out. So he was asking my man who got me the job work at the office, central office, and I said, why he firing me? He said the man, he said, don't be mad, real shit. He said he's scared of you. You heard?
Mm.
Said he's scared of you. For real. And this is when I be like this. You could be nice to these pilgrims. You could say, hey, how you doing? And all this so stupid ass shit. And you never know what's in their mind until they get a few dollars. You heard? To up jump the boogie. And then that's what he did. You heard? For real. I'm talking about, I used to work for these buildings that, it was pre-war buildings, upper Manhattan. You know, Stephen King and them got apartments in them. You heard shit like that. Boom. This clipped me. So after that, I said, fuck that. True Master told me, he said, if you ever need help, call me. I'll help you. I said, True, I need a DVD burner. You heard? He gave me the paper. I went and got the DVD burner. And then I remember it was right before Christmas time. And I said, and I'm telling you, I was home for about 3 months, bro. You heard? 3-4 months. I said, you know what? I'm not working for nobody no more. I went downtown Brooklyn with, what's that shit? William Cooper, Behold the Pale Horse DVD, Illuminati, whatever shit. You know, that's it. Niggas was into Illuminati. Anything Illuminati like this, boom. It was like this 2006. You know what I mean? And I went down there, and my thing was to say to the people that I was walking up on, I only had one DVD. I had my DVD that I did with Sonetta, right? And then I had the other one, right? And I said like this. I said, yo, you bought all this shit for the pilgrims, for the kids and all this so stupid ass shit, right? You did all of that. But where's the motherfucking money for your mind? Did you get something for your mind? You heard? Did you get something for your mind? And you will be surprised. I was hitting people in their heart. You heard? Street niggas. You heard? Like this. They was like, yeah, you right. And this is the thing that niggas knew about. They knew about the Behold the Pale Horse. You remember this? Niggas be like, yeah, that's that deep shit. Well, here go the DVD with the nigga talking on it. You heard? Like this, with the white man talking on it. With boom. And then from that day on, I said, there's a value in information, and I know a lot. I'm a coin. I'm a Bitcoin. You heard? All I got to do is keep re-inundating myself with value. But how do you delineate the value? We take what we know and make it into modicums of actual exchange for barter, sell, trade, right? But the coins stay the same. So people would be amazed, bro, how much money I made off of DVDs, son. Even the wholesale of DVDs. You heard? And if I tell people this, niggas won't even believe me, Rich. I promise you. You remember that shit, Loose Change?
Yeah, the 9/11, the joint on 9/11. Yeah.
Bro, I brought that shit to New York, bro. From Philly.
I think you told me back in the day. Yeah, you told me.
Yeah. I promise you, I know where the little pockets of information is with certain DVDs is. There's certain DVDs back in the day that's in Chicago. That's only they got a conscious community in Chicago that has metaphysics mixed with more science typical of America and a myth lore of the geography and of cat people. Like there's a whole thing that to talk about the cat people. You got to know about Brother Yoel at the bookstore where he at. You heard, to go over there to understand this conversation in these communities. He got DVDs that you will never ever seen in your life. You heard?
Right.
For real. So I'm like this. It's the conscious community and the dialogue. We have people who have added on to the dialogue and have taken the information to places that we didn't even know it could go. Red Pill created a coin for it when he made it cool for people to wear gods on shirts.
Yeah.
He made it cool for a nigga to
Shout
walk
out
down
Red
the street
Pill
with a god on his shirt. You heard? And then all of a sudden, all these big brands and shit is putting King Tut on shit. Now that proliferated all into all of these areas that got full sublimations with King Tut and everything. You heard? I remember the homie was the first one that did that. You heard? So I remember on my journey in writing and trying to find myself, I remember distinctively having a visit in prison with Blue Pill. He came to see me and he was telling me about this brother named Phil Valentine. And he said, Phil Valentine know everything in the world, son. He was like, yo, he got 720 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, my nigga. This is how we was talking. You heard? So we in our 20s and we like this because that's how we was raised. It's kind of an honor system. I come from golden era, hip hop era. We grew up honoring and looking up to, to Just Ice. You know what I mean? The name is named Just Ice because his name is Justice. That's the God. So, they have degree work, you know what I'm saying? Rakim, Allah, of course, to have degree work is an honorable thing. So we used to always tout ourselves as being these we wanted to be rich, righteous teachers when we was young. You know what I'm saying? For real. So I'm like, what the fuck we was talking about, son? Oh yeah, so I'm like, he came to see me and was telling me about Rev, and then lo and behold, shout out to my brother Marcus Klein in Chicago, he had the audacity to have a publication of journalism called Frontline when I don't think nobody was looking, and them Frontline, and I got some copies of Frontlines from that I didn't leave in the joint. I took them shits home with me, you heard? And I would never part with them. But if somebody was to ask me, yo, how much would you sell them for? These original publications, he was selling these and he had them readily available in the community for $2 and $3. My shits would be $1,000, one of these periodicals, because the audacity of what he was doing at the time. You heard? So I'm reading one of the articles in prison. I'm in a jail that's low-key underground. It's supposed to be an escape-proof prison. You heard? This is the jail they killed Larry Davidson. You heard? Shawanga. And my homie Patah was his name. And he had a body, caught a body. He was from Flatbush. He had like 25 to life. And I remember he had a consciousness. Pianka Kush, that was his name. Piankai. He had a consciousness awakening in prison, and he wasn't no sucker, and he wasn't down with no religious shit. He went back into Kushite legacy. He started reading. He was like, yo, after me and Blue was talking about this brother, Phil Valentine, he sent me this Frontline magazine, and in the Frontline, I had a goddamn article in there written by Reverend Valentine. And Reverend Valentine, they changed my life in that environment. It was confirmation to me, you heard? That I was like, yo, this is crazy right here. He was talking about symbolisms in movies, you heard? About the subtleties and then the spiritual aspects. He was like this with Star Wars. Niggas love Star Wars. He was like, Obi-Wan Kenobi is Obi-Wanga, a form of magic and sorcery, you heard? I was like, holy shit. And then you watch the movie, Obi-Wan comes, he's an ancestor. He died and come and help the living. You heard? All you got to do is call on him. That's the force. You heard? That's the ritual. Shout out to Brother Obi. The people with the initiated point of reference pertaining to African spirituality, they got the force, so to speak, right? So boom, he's telling us about this, and then I'm like this, boom, and then he talk about The Shining. I had a Shining movie, don't got nothing really to do with what you think it is. It's dealing with ancestral worship and venerating the dead and the Indian people, the people of indigenous. I don't know why we keep calling these people Indians, Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? And their culture and how, pilgrims will build shit on top of you. You heard? I think I'm starting to think that they do that shit on purpose. Like they going to look, you heard? To what you call it? to build stuff on the dead in hopes to live forever. You heard?
Mm,
And I
mm,
see that. I see that here in Los Angeles. Like right when I got here, and I'm gonna digress. I'm gonna go to the future real quick. When I got here, bro, I what you call it. Remember walking down the street and they seen a missing person thing. They said the Chinese girl missing, right? The Asian girl was missing, right? I said, wow, that's crazy. It was everywhere, these posters, right?
mm,
Then 19 days later, 14 days later, some shit like that, they said they found her inside of the water vat on top of the building, right?
mm,
Then they was like, that must have been foul play. Somebody must have threw it in there. No, they got the footage to show that the lady suffered from mental things,
mm,
depression, and she was fucked around. And there ain't no language for this. The pilgrims won't say it. They call it paranormal. And then they stop there. You heard?
mm,
And then they put on the spooky music and all of this shit. And then it
mm,
don't go there. They need to say what it is. Oh no, we built shit on dead people, bro.
mm,
And that the dead never die. It's a
mm,
lot of unanswered questions in there. It's a lot of what you call it. It's a lot of unfulfilled contracts. You heard? Between
mm,
this world and the nether world, that was what you call it, that need to be rectified, and that the living will suffer for the mistakes of the past. You heard? They will if they in proximity to that and don't acknowledge that the dead are in existence. So I'm gonna tell you something. I swear to everything I love, yo, niggas was I didn't even know this. People in LA was being nice to me. When I tell people that I lived in the Roslyn downtown, they wasn't like laughing at me and nothing. I used to notice that nobody would really want to come fuck with me. You heard? The only people that came to see me is got to be my homies, people that really fuck with me. But it be people I remember that I'll be like, yeah, I tell a nigga, yeah, man, come fuck with me down here, boom, boom. And nigga be like, word, all right. And I don't hear from them niggas no more, right?
mm,
Later on, come to find out, people telling me, bro, that is the place that don't nobody want to live. It's all type of spooky shit down there. And I
mm,
promise you, the building I lived in had to be haunted, bro. It had to be. You heard?
mm,
It had to be. I have, this is word to my dead mother. This is word that my everything that I love, sitting on a chair like this, the shit levitated half an inch off the floor, teetering like this. I thought it was a miniature earthquake. You heard? But the
the chair levitated.
yeah, and was
Mm,
tottering like this, boom,
yeah.
for 2 seconds. You heard? And I'm like, get the
Wow.
fuck out of here with this stupid shit, right? And
Wow.
I thought it was a miniature earthquake. I'm not embellishing. I don't have to make up no shit, bro. You heard?
Yeah.
I'm already an interesting motherfucker. Anyway, you heard?
Mm,
I do
mm,
not have to make up no interesting, stupid ass shit. For real. So I'm like this, and I used to tell my little brother, I got a neighbor who I don't even think is really a human. You heard? I
whew,
was there for a long time that I never was on the elevator with them, never nothing, but they always washing their clothes. A lady used to always be washing her clothes with her drawers on, all the way down the hallway. And
mm,
if you, I promise you, you start walking like in that direction, she go into the apartment. I said,
mm,
yo, so there's a reality that could be accessed if you're aware of it, but then there's a conscientious mind. This is where they got everybody locked in. The conscious mind, because conscious mind can only process like 40 things, you know,
right, right, right,
and
right.
everybody's trying to operate out of these 40 things. Meanwhile, the subconscious mind is absorbing 1,500 different little bits of information, creating your world for you holographically in your mind, that this is reality based off of all of your little words and your nuances and your emotional connection to words create the people. You know what I'm saying? So back to like our coin, our community is a coin because we kept adding value to it. We have a cultural paradigm that we add value to. They turn hip hop. Hip hop used to be all about adding value to it, right?
Mm,
And then now the coin don't serve us. It's a coin of take away. So it's now an altar of sacrifice. You heard? If you
Mm.
look at it, so they're using hip hop now as an altar of sacrifice to get money off of off the death. Now, that's why you hear it now in the music. Niggas is rap like this is the last stages of it too. Like niggas gonna have to be real creative. You heard? In the next like what you call it in the next serious like cycle, or it's gonna be another a darkness era in the music and the culture. So we in a Renaissance period. We damn near bicentennially in the Harlem Renaissance. You heard?
Mm.
So you know the Harlem Renaissance was all about the upgrade of African American financially. So I mean, I don't know. It's some people that might say that I'm doing too much when I say this. It ain't that many poor like dirt poor black people, bro. If you look at bro, I know poverty exists, right? But if you look at the pictures of Southside Chicago from 1940s, bro, and see what them people used to come outside to, children. Look at the Quincy Jones documentary. Quincy Jones was in a gang when he was 6 years old, bro. You heard?
Mm.
In Chicago, in the streets of Chicago. His grandmama and them used to have to oftentimes go outside and hunt, bro. You heard?
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
feed them. You
Yeah.
feel me? So I'm like, in this present age, we got resources. We got some shit that we could do. You know what I'm saying? We got ways to you know what I mean? So we in that Renaissance period where we are adding on to value. Now people are seeing the value of my black experience sets the mandate for the retail value of if you're an enthusiast of my culture, if you really love black people, and this is a mind fuck they do. A
Mm.
lot of white folks love black music because niggas is killing niggas. Bang, 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 bang. They love it. It's a soundtrack now we give to them. You heard? So
Mm.
when they not looking, when we not looking, they in the crib, they in the shower, they cooking they food, and they using all of them words. Nigga, I'm gonna chase you down. Nigga, I'm gonna kill you. Bang, 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 bang. Brrr, all that kill, 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 kill. They love that shit. They
Mm.
love that shit. And then now, the music is even more, it's more neurosis in it. The kids is fucking with the pills, right? They popping pills, and now they emotionally in rap shit. And now they emotionally, and you can start hearing an emotional blues inside of the young people shit. And when you hear it, you be like, God damn, what kind of friends you little niggas got? Y'all don't got no big homies. You heard?
Mm.
It
Mm.
sound like y'all not having no fun. The music that our parents in them, when they wanted to go
Hey, I can't hear you.
the music that our parents and one of them and whatnot, when they used to be listening to music,
Mm.
ask the elders, anybody listening that's older than us, when you talk about they used to have their little blue light parties,
Yeah.
they be singing the love songs. You heard?
Right. Right.
It was crazy stuff going on in their environment. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
Even the culture, the Mexican culture, lowrider culture, they not blasting out no killer dealer stuff, and everybody know that them lowriders, that's a culture that shit is some gangster shit, you heard? But
Yeah.
they playing darling you send me,
Mm.
darling you do right this, and you know not to play with them, you heard? So now the
Mm.
new music, it got these lack of reciprocity models. Everybody don't give a fuck about each other. They're like everybody can't stand each other. Everybody got a hater. This is the shit kill me. They say everybody, what's the name of them is hating on me? What's the name of them is hating on me? What's the name of them is hating on me? And then the thing is too, the young men, they always talking about what they gonna do to your girl. And I'm like, yo, where's this shit going? You heard? when they see my girl, what they finna do when they catch up to my girl. And I'm like this, oh, this is a dominance hierarchy. I see what you're doing. You heard? I see what happened.
I was just listening to Moneybag Yo today, and he said that I fly your bitch out to a place she didn't know exists. So I know exactly
that's a
what you're
bar.
talking about. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm saying that's a bar. That's a
yeah,
bar, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, we grown as fuck. Like, if you in that, hey, that we'll be like this. If you and that bitch got that type of time, you heard? That ain't none of my business. You heard? I don't
Yeah,
give a fuck what
yeah.
y'all doing. You feel me? But
Mhm.
there's a response to that. Some little niggas like this that would feel a kind of way. He be like, oh, you gonna take my girl. That ain't your girl. You heard? But I'm like, this is the narrative running through the minds of the young people. And it's interesting. It's really not interesting. It's just a pulse. You could take a pulse to the where the culture can go if it continues down this journey. You know what I'm saying? For
Is
real.
that the aesthetic, like just using like the Lil Nas X and the Satanism in hip hop? Is that an example of the aesthetic nihilism that you I hope I'm saying it right, aesthetic nihilism that you talk
Yeah.
about in hip hop?
Yes. Aesthetic nihilism or nihilism. Me and Red was talking about this years ago. That it is a stage in the unfoldment of a cultural paradigm. It reaches a precipice or a critical mass where you can't keep. It's like disco. They couldn't keep doing it no more. You heard? So they
Mm,
killed it. You know what I mean?
mm,
So how with culture they do the same thing. um the communist culture in China reached its precipice when it figured out that because of the way Chinese culture, it's ancient, and their narrative is written down that to have outside influences from Russians and communist principles, it's not important as intrinsically involved in how the people deal with each other for thousands of years. You heard? So it
mm,
reaches its precipice. Hip hop reaches its precipice when the deaf culture is there. After the deaf culture comes the if it's the opposite of what it started as. So if hip hop is a child of poverty and that it was here to give you something to stand on, to be a man when wasn't nobody letting you be nobody man, but be a man, right? Now,
mm,
once it reaches its precipice or the ceiling, now they have to push the shit off into the opposite of that. You heard? So
mm,
now they got to put a dress on.
mhm,
They got to
mhm,
put the dress on. You heard? You
mhm,
got to do the death march all the way. You got to kill your people. You got to fuck these niggas, man. Boom. And it's niggas, and it's the unfoldment of English. It's the same shit in the white boys do it. They aesthetic nihilism is punk rock, and they get where they anti everything. They anti everything. They
mm,
anti this, anti that, and then it gets to anti life, and then they become G.G. Allen. You heard?
mhm,
A
mhm,
murder death junkie. You heard?
mm, mm,
Where and this is like a G.G. Allen is a serious uh icon in the punk rock and the white world culture, like super Nazis and all of that shit. They fuck with him because like his best friend was a fucking serial killer and shit, John Wayne Gacy. He was like, you the only guy on the whole planet that's my friend. Fuck all humans. I want to die. I just want to get high. And if you go to G.G. Allen concerts, right?
mhm,
All that mosh pitting and all that shit, that's aesthetic nihilism. You going in to get your fucking jaw broke. You going to get punched in your face. And then the white kids, these are like jewels of honor. They get their
mm,
head split open. They take a
mhm,
picture of it. The shit be a goddamn album cover. Their nose running blood. Boom.
mhm,
It's the album cover. Boom. And then you see the young people start fucking around with it because anything that the whitey do, it was a point where I told my homie when we was in jail, I said, I was looking at the magazines and I said, yo, they about to make everybody dress like white boys, son. All of this hip hop shit is over. I seen that the brands have reached its precipice. All of those urban brands,
mhm,
it was over. I seen an article in an interview magazine Roberto Cavalli came out with a $10,000 pair of jeans that had embroidery on them, right? And them shits was tight as a motherfucker on the dude, right? I said, look at this shit, son. I said, they about to cut the silhouette. You heard? Then I promise you, no soon as I came home, I think it was like 2006, 2000. When it got to like 2008, it was over for that fit. You heard? Niggas was like this. Boom. It reached the precipice. They push you into, if you keep going, cultureless in a trajectory, speaking English, getting what you call it, getting money from your enemy, right? And they applauding this shit. No other culture will allow this. No other culture. You can't go to India. You can't go to China. You can't even go to the continent. You heard? And parts of the continent that's super stable, whatever you want to call that, right? And there's a culture of music where nigga talking about shooting you in the back of your fucking head, man. You heard? Now, what come after that? If what comes after, nigga get so scared of these niggas because they're gonna kill you. Now you don't even want to be a nigga no more. You heard? It's unsafe to be. It's unsafe to even be in the culture. So now niggas like this. I don't even want to fuck with that culture no more. Now you got this whole new a trend. You got people of color that their own cultures is not safe for them. So now they go into other cultures. My daughter told me the name of this shit. You heard? She was telling me the name of it when people have an adoration for other cultures. And I was explaining to her because sometimes people cultures ain't safe. They don't find a safety mechanism in there, or there's not no developmental models in the culture to keep you interested. Why you think Black, Latino people of color all over the world are going into the world of anime? You heard? The anime world is endless narratives of magical shit. You heard? It's an alternate reality unfolding right in front of them. You heard? With all these endless possibilities, where it puts all that spooky shit to rest, that you can actually do all of these great and wonderful things. Now you seeing grown ass niggas. This nigga is Yu-Gi-Oh! My son is Naruto. You heard? Nigga walking around with the Naruto shit on his head. I dare you say something bad about Naruto around that nigga. You heard? He might go and start running at your ass. Some stupid ass shit.
Yo. Oh man.
For real. So I'm like this, yo, you my brother, Rich, because usually when I get on these shows, I would have got me a little bottle or something, and I would have digressed off of what we was talking about. You heard? And then it would have went into some more bullshit. You know what I'm saying? but to talk about the aesthetic nihilism and even further the dialogue on it, there's a culture where the young people, they where you're not even aware that you're alive, you don't even know that you're alive. And I noticed when you're young, when you're 15 and 16 years old, I remember feeling that I don't care what happened to me as long as I'm around my friends. You heard? And it's a lot of young people in jail. One of my homeboys from the Bronx, I promise, from the Coops on Allerton, he's serving like a 50-year sentence, bro, for some shit he did when he was 16. You heard? And I'm like, I know why you feel like that. Your brain is not fully developed. You heard? That time of your brain is your character is developed based off of the people around you. So when you ain't got no guidance, you guided by your environment and the young people. When I was a kid, you come outside, you drinking old English 800, 15 years old, I swear to God, eating corn chips and smoking weed and doing robberies and shit, right? And it's amazing that niggas is still alive. I lost a lot of friends from that era, right? Because you didn't really care as long as you was with your friends. That's the only thing that counted. You know what I'm saying? And I think what happens when I'm hearing the new music, they talk about the littles, because if you go Google, put in how many artists got the name Little in their name on iTunes. It's in like, I think it's 4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah, a lot.
So
Yeah.
that is a call. That is, if anything, if somebody was really a social anthropologist, that is a call to action. Those are young people saying that we need guidance. I'm calling myself a little nigga, man. You heard? Everybody calling themselves little niggas now, because what is you saying when you say you're a little nigga? Because when I remember the first day, it made me, I ain't gonna embellish and say I remember the day, but I remember the time period. I'll never forget when they start calling me. It used to always be with me and my homie Ernie and Dana, when the older homies start calling us Big Op, Big Ern, Big Dana. And we was little niggas, you heard?
Yeah.
And we used to be like this, you heard that? Like this, you heard that? They call me big, right? You see that, right? You see this not a game. And we be like this, see? We grown now, son. You feel me? Right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like this. I remember always wanting to be that part. And then I was like this. That was brilliant for Puffin them to just use Big, because that's what we used to call him, because he was so big, Chris, right? Big, you heard? And then we see the cultural nuance later. After Wayne, everybody want to be little, you heard? And I'm like this, that's interesting at best. And I think it come from, it's something generationally with the computer, you heard? You know? But the aesthetic nihilism or nihilism, if people were to study it's a French philosophy where it's a negation of, if somebody don't feel like you exist, you don't exist. You heard? It's acknowledging non-existence in a sense. You heard? And nihilistic people, they it's like a lifestyle of people dealing with. You heard? That's right. Legend. That's my big homie Yaya. You heard?
Shout out to Yaya. I appreciate the donation. Yeah.
That's my big homie. That's one of the reasons why I could get to school in the morning without the Decepticons hitting niggas upside the head with hammers. You heard?
Because of this brother right here?
One of them, used to get on the train. He used to be, he'd be holding us down. You heard? Because we got to go through all these other high schools on that A train just to get to that one train, just to get to 66th Street. So once we get over there in Amsterdam, Martin Luther King High School is right there. So Martin Luther King High School is fucking popping. Niggas going to Martin Luther King with fur coats on. You know that Harlem niggas, shit get crazy over there, right? Then there's projects right there. So it was like crazy, bro. You heard? Just going to school. That's why I be like, these kids today is lucky as a motherfucker, King. I promise you. For real. Shout out to Yaya. That's my big homie. For real. For real.
Indeed. So hey man, like I said, man, your metaphysical lens that you view all of these things, whether it's hip hop, whether it's pop culture, whether it's clothing, allows you to see things way different than the average person. So what is it about? What do you think is one of the ways that a person, because we're being told how to think, what to think, the distractions are at an all-time high right now. So what do you think is one of the main things in order for a person to put on their metaphysical thinking hat and just see through everything? Because there's something unique about the way you see things, Dr. Valentine, and it helps you to navigate in this world way better from what I noticed.
Well, I tell young people that I endeavor to study from opportunism. I want to be smart opportunistically, because I got to think about, I know what it feels like to not be equipped with certain information at certain periods of time in your life, and it make you feel helpless. You heard? And I never want to participate in that feeling. So I said, I'm gonna inundate myself with information to prolong my days. You know what I mean? And make it so I could be on this planet for a prolonged period of time, and that I have some sense of import. you know, to myself and to others. So it's opportunistic for me. So I don't, you know, some people use knowledge or want to acquire it to stun on people. You heard? And that's one of the things that could turn people off of consciousness too, is you don't want certain type of people to get, they be like, you know, them certain type of niggas, you be like, oh, what's his name that read a book now? This nigga's crazy. Now, if you thought he knew everything then, now this nigga, he swear he know everything, right? Boom, now. So I'm like, consciousness don't have to be a brute instrument. So I also use it opportunistically to be like this. If I'm socializing with somebody and we're interacting, I want the best out of the person that I'm interacting. You heard? So I know how my teachers taught me. One of my teachers taught me without actually telling me nothing. You heard? Always pointing to the shit. And he was this nigga Eternal from Queens. He taught me mad metaphysics through the New Testament. He said the New Testament always tell you where to go to the other direction to go get the other piece of information. You heard? He said, go to Timothy. Timothy tell you to go to Matthew. You heard? Matthew being there telling you to go over there. And then you see the through line. And I'm like this. And then his other teaching was, he used to teach us through gestures. You heard? And to become aware of what all of these gestures, these crackers be doing. You heard? What is all of these gestures? You heard? When we was in a joint, the cracker come in, they get to doing all this shit, all this so stupid shit, boom. They had a whole language in front of us that I'm like, oh shit. That I said, oh, there's a whole nonverbal communication going on. And this is when Eternal told me, he said, yeah, we build houses in secret. You heard? And I'm like, build houses in secret? I'm like, damn, that shit took me years to understand what he was talking about. And then when you go, and he said, well, go to the Book of Kings, man. It's going to tell you. You heard? And I said, what? This is what made me really get into the Kabbalah. I was like, what? Like the good lady said, what? I was like, what? Right? Boom. And then I said, what is this going on? And they said, we are building a temple with stones that was at the quarry and all this shit, boom, boom, boom. And we are building with tools not made of human hands. And I'm like, ooh. So then I'm like, so I'm building my world in my mind. You heard? And then he's one of the first people to ever teach a nigga. And I think I want to say this. I don't want to just say it's eternal. It's the same time period of my learning. I want to say Reverend Valentine spoke about loci. This is one of the things this is what helps me to be able to pierce into spiritual matters, bro. You heard?
What is loci? What is loci?
I'll give you an example of loci. Loci is this. When you meditating, next time you meditate and imagine yourself walking into a palace. And then imagine yourself going into the library of the palace, and imagine yourself going to the bookshelf inside the library of the palace, and then you going into the fifth shelf. It's 10 shelves. You go to the fifth shelf and you go over to the fifth book, and then you go inside that book, and then you go on the fifth page of that book, and then you tell me what's on the page of the book. Right? And then you put the book back where it goes, and then you reverse the process, and you come out of the palace and return. And you keep doing this, right? You'll be able to manifest anything in the physical world, because you have now the ability. And this is what I be telling young people. Niggas be thinking I'm crazy. I am half the time. I've been through a lot of shit. I got childhood trauma, bro. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
I've been through mad shit, bro. I did my whole 20s in prison, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How who is my teacher? Like when I go when I do all the teaching, but who the fuck can I go to go somebody teach me something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I gotta go into my bank of experiences and my memory, and then how do I get into that space? I go build me a motherfucking robot with the directions is not even in English, Rich. It's in Japanese and it's intuitive. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, one of them robots, word to mommy, I spent $320 on that shit, son. That shit took me a week to put together, bro. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
And then low key, I put it together. Then when I went back to the hobby shop, the people was like, yo, I bet you're still putting that perfect grade together. And I'm like, nah, I put that shit together last week. And they like thinking I'm some kind of genius. The nigga want me to prove it, son. You heard? He want me to prove it, show him. Like, yeah, nah, I put that shit together fast. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
It take a motherfucker damn near a month to put one of them shits together, son.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like this. The utility for me in my mind, right? I
Mm-hmm.
needed this because I seen a lot of shit. I remember in 1981, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, every single night in the summertime, machine guns, Uzi, 9 millimeters. You a little kid and can identify, oh, that's a 25, that's a 22, that's a 38, that's a 357, that's a 45. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, everybody I grew up should get a check, low key. Niggas is crazy, son.
Mm-hmm.
Word is bomb. I promise you. So I be like this. The best shit that ever happened to me, no bullshit, is of course, you know, my mama inundated me with mad information as a child because she knew my level of intelligence was going to need it in the world that I was coming up in. And I'm very thankful for what my mother gave me in the form of spirituality. And when I got to Jewish mysticism, I was like, oh, we speak in English. And then when I got to the Tree of Life, I said, oh, that shit changed my life. The Tree of Life gave me a way to format my experiences, bro. A lot of us have experiences with emotional shit that has happened in our life, in our experience, and we feel a certain kind of way about it. And I'm gonna tell you something: if you don't know what to do with that shit, you will fuck around and the shit will turn into a disease. It'll turn into a cancer. You heard? You
Yeah,
fuck around and
real
have.
quick, I was
Go
watching
ahead.
real quick, because I don't want to forget this, and maybe you can
Yeah,
elaborate on this or what you're saying.
yeah,
Because you're talking a lot about your experiences, and I
yeah,
was watching what's this dude named Joe Dispenza. I was telling everybody about this book that I like that I got called Supernatural, and he was saying
yeah.
how emotion is the experience in chemical form.
Yes,
So yeah, so we looking at them, we having all these emotions, and
yes.
internally, chemically, we're having whatever that we're emotionally experiencing at that time.
And
So when
and
you,
we
yeah,
and we also having this the Discover magazine. I brought it out again to talk about it. That this is the source of behavior in humans is in their gut. You heard?
yeah, the microbiome,
Microbiomes, the
yeah,
mind gut mystery,
yeah,
probiotics. If you really love yourself, if you love your household and you don't want to argue, you don't want to have no arguments, you don't want to be stressed out, go get you some probiotics for real.
mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people that I know that people think that you go crazy because of drug use or you've been using too much drugs and now you went crazy. No,
Steph.
no. See, they can make a whole populace go crazy simply by removing um the the dinner meal in the community. When I was a kid, the streets be dark. When it get dark, niggas go inside to eat, and then if your mom and them don't want you in their face, go ahead, you can go back outside. You heard? Like this. But come upstairs, eat. Then now it's a culture where mama be in her room, she ordered Postmates. What you want? You like this? Oh, I think I'm gonna go to the Chinese food restaurant, pizza. Your sister in the other room eating her snacks, and everybody is not connected. And then you be tripping like, why is the kitchen having an argument with the living room? You heard?
Mm.
So people don't notice what's older than us. It's the bacteria in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
The microbiomes are manipulating consciousness. They're manipulating the way that you view the world is inside of your stomach. So
Yo,
when they
hey,
say this back in the day, look, back in the day, they used to say this. The Sumerians say this. If you see how people be like, yo, oh, what's the name? Them got bad luck. I know people that got bad luck like a motherfucker, right?
mm-hmm.
And I know why. I know why your ass got bad luck. You got bad luck because you really is this way, but you eating that way. If you white, you ain't supposed to be trying to be no stupid ass vegan. You heard? Because you gonna act stupid than a motherfucker trying to be healthy like these niggas that you think that you a part of nigga culture and you want to be this deep spiritual shit and all that. That's for black people post-slavery that want a different alternative than chitlins and soul food. You heard? They want a living that, you know what I mean? People who want to heal you know, they be like this, oh, well, you know, diabetes, all this shit running my family. They want to cleanse themselves of that. So I noticed this. You see people be doing irrational, stupid ass shit, and then you'll become possessed by your thoughts. You heard? And then your thoughts will put you in circumstances that the world will spank the shit out you. The world be wilding you up. You heard? And you could tell a stupid mind is a stupid gut. You heard? And you could tell, like you know this when you're trying to talk to somebody, they might be irrational mentally, and then when they get an iota of understanding, right? It's like a light switch on, and they be like, you know what, you right, yo. But then there's these other type of people that no matter what the fuck you say, right? And that's why they got jails open, because people be having to slap the shit out of them. They have to get shot and stabbed. The bad shit got to happen to them because they mind and their gut is connected. You heard? So you be sitting up thinking that you, oh, I'm deeper than the motherfucker. That's your stomach talking. You heard? So back in Sumer, they said if you get possessed, if somebody got bad luck on you, what's the first thing that the doctor do? The first thing the doctor do is say, come in, this is what I want you to do. I want you to drink this herb. And the herb had sprinkles of gold, lapis lazuli, all type of stuff like that. Herbs that can only get grown in certain areas. They give the instruction that under this, and then you got to look at a certain celestial star station, and then you do the ritual, right? So I'm like, you mean to tell me that possession, that magic live in the gut? So I'm like this. They got a tribe, the Azande tribe. They have, I want to say the anthropologist's name is Picard, like the nigga from Star Trek Picard, right? The Azande, his study on the Azande people, he said that the Azande people believe that if something bad happened to you, it's because you were bewitched. Nothing, they did not believe in no happenstance inside their culture. And they said that anything evil or where witchcraft go is to the stomach. So now, this is the illest shit in the world right now. There are people on the spectrum of autism. They are, in particular, for some reason, it seems to be a large number of males. You heard? Female autism is really not. It's not like male autism. It's a lot of males participate who have autism and they're on the spectrum. And where did it come from? The science has already said it comes from the second trimester. If the woman in the second trimester of the pregnancy receives an infection, right, it can create microbiomes in the baby's stomach that establish the frequency for how their brain functions upon birth. You heard? And that they've been treating children with autism early on, if they detect it early, by doing what they call a fecal
Transplant.
a fecal transplant. That's right.
That's some crazy shit, right? I
Super
was
fucking crazy, bro. And
KT put me on it.
yo, bro, the lady said KT's brilliant. You heard? He's always ahead of the curve. Yo, the lady said that her son used to wake up every morning screaming, bugging, rampant like this. They got the transplant for him.
Changed him completely.
For the first time, he woke up and said, "Good morning, Mom." And she was like this, overjoyed. She was crying and all that, emotional. She'd never seen that before. So it's in the stomach. It's in the stomach. People be sitting up, and then I had to learn this. You be sitting up acting like you got a problem with somebody. You ain't got no motherfucking problem with nobody. Don't nobody got problems with you. People be pump faking like they got a problem with you. They got a problem in their stomach, inside of their self. And rich people who got a lot of money, they can afford to have certain microbiomes inside their stomach on a consistent basis. And this is one of the reasons that it lends support that they don't fuck with everybody. You heard? They maintain a certain type of sentimentality. And as I get older, I don't need no volatility around me. I don't want no volatile shit around me. You heard? Mm-hmm. I'll be like this. Nobody got no business being around me arguing. With all the shit going on in the world, go find you an argument, you heard, with yourself. For real. For real.
Shout out to KT. Shout out to KT in the chat. I see my brother KT in the chat. Yo, Legend. AA, no lie. Yo, I will bother KT for months just to learn about the microbiome and probiotics. He used to tell me when my girl was pregnant, that's all he told me about was eating certain prebiotics or probiotics and this and that. But you know what's crazy? Since you touching it from a metaphysical lens, that book that Panic was talking about last year, the what's the name of this book? Judy K. Keene.
Shout out to Panic too, brother.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the book. But the author said that we have a microbial cloud around us. What we think the aura is actually a microbial aura, and it extends 34 inches, and it's emitted by a microbiome.
Ooh.
She was like, it emits like 10 million bioparticles an hour, bro. She's on YouTube. I'm gonna tell you something. It's on YouTube.
The region of your body is a nuclear power plant. And the reason why the coccyx bone is so hard, it's the hardest bone in the body, is because the heat. And I was just on the phone talking to a professional sister in Kundalini yoga, right? And she knows for beyond a shadow of a doubt what Kundalini is. A lot of people be using the term, don't know what it is, but it's really, it borders on it's a nuclear term. You heard? The shit is scientific, and for you to harness it, right? It allows you to acknowledge that your body is a temple that projects out of itself, a radiative field. And this is one of the reasons why they always promote in certain cultures to have certain seafood that have iodine in it. You heard? Because the iodine, it lends support to the radiative aspects of, the throat. The throat, like, we are literally, bro, we like little Chernobyls. I'm telling you.
What's that? What's that? A Chernobyl? What's that?
The Chernobyl is that power plant, and over there, that's the shit, the meltdown. You heard?
Right.
But we like power plants, bro. We can emit radiative energy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it comes from our throat area. You heard? That throat chakra is very significant because radiation comes from that area of the body, bro.
That's why words are so powerful. Is that
lends support to the reason why they like birds. Once they outside of the cage, they keep going until they find fulfillment. You heard? For real. For real.
It's deep. That's some deep shit, man. The lady even went as far as to say that our universe is a projected shadow from the quantum protein world. Protein world. So it's like whatever's going on inside.
More microbiomes. Bro, it's more microbiomes in one person's stomach than it is stars in the sky.
Crazy.
You feel me?
Yeah.
You heard? So you be like this. They always teach us God is a monad, right? It's a minutia. And if you ever been around fasting Muslims, right? Ask a fasting Muslim, how do they feel when they praying and all of that? Because I remember you be feeling like them prayers is the ones that got to God. You heard? During Ramadan. And then even in this, you can ask Ra'aku. It's called the Night of Power, where one of the last 10 days of Ramadan, a fasted Muslim can make a prayer. You heard? And that prayer, let me see. This is my big homie. He don't never call me. I'm sorry. You good? You good, King? I'm all right. I'm doing a podcast, and when I see your name on it, I had to pick up. I'm gonna call you back when I get off this. All right, King. Yeah, I be worried because I don't live over there in New York. Every time I see somebody call me from New York, I be like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on with that shit?" You heard?
Nah,
yeah.
Definitely.
So we was talking about the what?
Hey, I'm sorry, baby. Hey, I don't want to keep forgetting. Tell them your information you had. I don't want them to in your clothing. I don't want them to forget. And before we get to the end and they leave, tell them how they could get your hat. Hey.
Instagram. Fuck with me on the gram. I got mad people in the direct message that people be thinking I'm ignoring them. I be seeing this shit come up on the thing where it be saying the person sent me a message. It didn't be like they erased the message.
Yeah.
And I be like, well, I don't know what you think I ignored you. I'm not ignoring you. I'm kind of like I got my shit is exclusive. You heard? So I be doing short runs. So you gotta you communicate. See, this the people be asking me. All my hats has got to be $100 because the shit is exclusive. You heard? So I'm like this. I gotta do my shit for $1. But people like I got $100 ones, the corduroy ones. These I do for people that I fuck with like 75. I gotta do that because Supreme and them ain't playing with niggas.
Right.
They spanking niggas with them prices. You feel me? So I'm like this. I ain't got no Supreme. I do all this shit supremely with my hands. You feel me? I go do the work and all that. So I don't got no I wish I could get some shit like that. I could give niggas affordable clothes. Go take your ass to Target. I could get fresh in Target. I'm one of them niggas. All you need is a pair of sneakers. You can go to Target and get fresh. You heard? But I don't got no them type of prices. I got to keep my shit high. You heard? Cause you know what I mean? Like this. So this the direct message. And I believe like everything ain't for everybody know how. You know what I mean? I low-key don't want everybody with my shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit is a coin. Remember, we add value to us.
Yes, sir.
You feel me?
Yes, sir.
So it's shout out to my brother King Simon, the legend. I got a flyer when King Simon did a show at Webster Hall with a famous reggae group here. That's one of my things I want him to sign. You heard? That's in my museum. You feel me? For real.
That's dope. You got a museum. That's dope.
You can learn a lot from Simon. I promise you. He the one taught me how to give out them flyers too. He said he give out the flyer to an event all the way to the doors open. Simon to be on the corner like this while the event is actually going on, still giving out the flyers, bro. and I seen this before,
Mm.
that I'm copying his trade craft,
Mm.
that I could get people to come right into the event off the street, right there.
Mm.
You heard?
Mm.
He's a legend. That's the big homie, for real.
Damn.
And that's crazy. He know the people that just called me.
Mm.
Ernest Bond, my big homie that just called me,
Yeah.
to check on me, right?
Mm.
He know them. You heard?
That's how that work.
For
That's
real.
how that work.
For real.
Hey, I want to show you something real quick. So me and you do music, right? Damn, I hope this come up on the screen. Because you know, the better I get as a musician, as a producer, it's all due to me looking at music purely in a spiritual way. Damn, let me see. Hold up, hey. I want to share something with you.
You be
Now,
seeing the patterns when you making your
yeah,
beats?
all of that, all of that. All right. Let me see. Can you see this on the screen? Why you keep damn. Let me see. Can you? There's something in particular I want. Oh man, it's not showing. Hold up. There's something I want you to see, but it's not coming up on the screen. Hold up. Let me see something.
What's that, Logic?
Yeah. I wanna. Damn, family. Because Phil talks about God using subtractive synthesis
Ah,
to,
yes. God is a series of God is an editor.
yeah,
You heard?
he's an engineer. God is an
Yes.
engineer. So I
Series.
wanted to show y'all. Do you see the EQ on the screen, AA? Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. All right. So do you hear that sound, AA?
Yeah.
So let's say this is us in our God state, right? In our divine, our more expansive self.
Right.
So like when I'm filtering a sound to make it clean, right, or something, and I put a low pass filter on it.
Yes.
It's not damn, you can't hear it though. I'm not no, all right, that's why. All right, hold on. I did something wrong, y'all. All right, I'm gonna put a low pass. Hold up. So you hear how the sounds disappearing, right?
Yeah.
So God, it's like God. I realized this last year when I was doing beats. So I was like, it's like God put a filter on our consciousness. So our consciousness, because you know, frequency is none but information. This is all information. All this is information popping up. But in order for us to have this information, we couldn't come here with this all this noise. So
Uh,
we had to put a filter
uh,
on a lot of it. And we got left with a little bit, just a little bit. So let's stretch out this little bit. And like this is all we got access to, unless we able to tap into our more expansive mind. So
right.
when we do that, it gets louder. The music gets louder. You know, the song of life gets louder. But until then, we only hear this little. We only hear a little bit of music, and that's
Now,
why we.
now,
That's yeah. Go ahead,
now,
yeah. Because I need a
now this
breakdown of that. Yeah.
this
Go
is
ahead, my
this
brother.
this is what I tell musicians, right? The the um the master musicians. I be like this. It's not the beat, it's the silence in between the beat that creates
Yes. Yes.
the rhythm
Bobby said that.
sections.
Yes,
You
sir.
heard?
Yes,
And
sir.
if you ever hear timeless music, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a sweet spot, bro, where it's silent, and then the beginning of the beat or the tempo, you heard,
Mm-hmm.
carries you into the next portion of
Mm-hmm.
song. You
Mm-hmm.
heard? So
Mm-hmm.
we live in sound. We live in a cacophony of sound.
Mm.
But I'm gonna tell you this. Do you know that hearing is an electrical event that happens because of their electrical devices in your ear that it's small as hairs, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That do this, Rich. They give us a semblance of what these sounds may sound like, and there's a hierarchical structure. And this is where they build artificial intelligence based off of how our ears, the cochlea, has about 32, I want to say 32,000 of these little hairs
Mm-hmm.
And each of these hairs, their function is to use a decimal. Ray Kurzweil speaks about this, and there's some lectures where he goes up to Google. He works at Google now, and he's one of the reasons why when you type in something in the search engine, it comes up with what they know you to be or whatever you're suggesting in your searching, and it comes from them detailing on a microscopic level how sound is prepared, and they use this called hidden Markov models. The hidden Markov model is based off of how they create artificial intelligence and hierarchy models for understanding. So I could say something to you, right? And you would hear what I'm saying to you, but your hierarchical construct of hearing will place it into realms of understanding. I could just say a term just now. I could go bibbly blah. You never know what that means to someone else in a different from, you know, you ever been in a conversation, you're speaking to somebody, and had they not said, what'd you say? Right? They would have thought that you said something else.
Something else,
And then
yeah.
God forbid they walk away with that and they'd be like, yo, that nigga told me that he, what you call it? Like this, boom. You'd be like, no, I didn't say that. Yes,
Yeah.
you did, nigga. You did say that. I know it, then you didn't hear me. You heard? But then hearing does not require ears also. There is dermal hearing through the skin. It's people who don't even have cochleas or don't even have the capacity to hear in the same way that we would say hearing. They can hear on a different level. Imagine how that process of hearing is access to them. They can hear the sentimentality of emotional fields different. They don't have to hear your words to know what type of person you is, neither. You heard? They can automatically hear it. Same thing with Stevie Wonder. I met Stevie Wonder. I've been around him. And Stevie Wonder uses sonar, bro. You heard? And I've been in his studio, in the Wonderland studio, right? And he used sonar. When he be walking around in his studio, he walk around without no canes, none of that shit. He knows where he's going, bro. You heard? And he be speaking. And through the speaking, you heard, in that moment of silence, he can gauge the distance between himself and objects, bro. For real. For real. For real. And I think I want to say this. Um they might have been introducing some technology to him first from Apple. Cause I remember him talking to some Siri shit. I ain't never heard of no Siri. What the fuck is Siri? I was like, Siri, what the fuck is that? He had a watch. Like I'm like this. Like I promise you, like a blind man watch. Some shit that he taps in. He could tap in, bro. So you don't need eyes to see. Because vision is a term. Vision is a term. You heard? We have we dealing with the cognitive sciences. You heard? Cognitive, you don't have to be able to see to have vision. You understand? You see? So, you know, it's interesting when you talk about the negation of things. Yes, God is the grand negator. In fact, Reverend Valentine and them say he re-inundates us and tells us, he was telling us years ago that that's one of the reasons of the 42 negative confessions. You heard? Saying that you can be anything you want to be in the universe except for those 42 things. And then you will be in divine, you'll be within a divine. So now, what if we go into what those 42, what if we go into what the number 42 is? You heard? What did 42 mean to the ancestors? What did they delineate in their and you a Virgo, you into sound, you a musician. I've heard your music grow and blossom, and shout out to Kambada. I love what y'all doing with the music. You heard?
Thank you, brother.
Y'all fucking with the messianic world. You heard? Kambada is one of the nicest niggas on the planet. Word is bond. The other day I was like, when I go back to the studio, I'm using that skeeter that he used. He was like, he just makes schemes off of them. He get them schemes and just keep going and keep going and keep going. You heard?
Mm.
So I'm like this. Boom. For real. I say, yeah, watch. Son is nice. Y'all is dealing with spirituality. You dealing with spirituality. And entertainment is spirituality. You heard? And this is one of the responsibilities of culture. And this is one of the things why the African American is the most significant thing in the United States. Had it not been for African Americans, this shit would be corny, son. For
Mm.
real.
Mm.
For real. I promise you. You heard?
Give,
What
give me
what
give
the
me a cash
pilgrims really
app. Give
do
me a cash app real quick. Hey, I'm sorry once again. Give me a cash app.
is $S Prince 111.
All right, go ahead, brother. Yeah, you said if it wasn't for African Americans, this country would be corny.
Yeah, the pilgrims we be done killed themselves. They be done killed each other. You heard? You know
Mm.
they because they with that resonance of that frequency of their language, and then they what is the pilgrims if we was to go like this, what is their culture? We could go into everybody culture and be like, what is their culture? Let's go look at Europe. What's their culture?
Mm.
But then when we can see a real culture, when you see people of color, when you go see, you go. This is one of the most beautiful places in the world. I live in, I live in, uh, I live in North Mexico. You heard, nigga? Southern. They call it Southern California. I'm in Mexico. The crackers then they delineated and took land and then changed names, did all of this old shit to everybody, right? So I'm like this. Something else. Do you know if it wasn't for the Mexican people and brothers and sisters of indigenous import on this side of the world, there wouldn't be no civilization over here whatsoever? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Wherever you find people of color, you find real culture. And when you go look at the pilgrim, his culture is just a culture of this taking shit. You heard? His
Mm.
biomes, his microbiomes is fucked up. You heard? When you think about it, you be like, what kind and it goes so ill like this. I promise you, right? I promise you, they got whole branches of science, King, that they are looking for. I seen it on the joint. They got a whole anthropology. What is it? But it's a branch of anthropology that deals with micro. I think it's microbiological anthropology, where they are looking at the stool of ancient people to determine who they are. You heard?
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
And when we go and we look at real culture, say we go to this is why I name my books Dog Star Hip Hop, because after becoming aware of the Dogon of Mali and how their cosmology is tied directly to their protein source in their food, which is a grain called fonio, I'm like, how is it that these people is able to see binary star systems and can tell you that there's rings around Saturn, right?
Mm.
And it's all from their grain, bro. It's from their
Mm.
grain.
From the
They go
grain, you
look.
saying?
It's from the grain, and
Damn.
that in their society, you're not a grown man unless you can prepare the grain. Can
Mm.
you imagine that? That's one of your greatest endeavors as a man in your society is one day prepare the
The
grain for the
grain.
festival.
So
You heard?
that's deep. That's deep.
And when you look at the preparation of the grain, there's these words that they use. It's the threshing of the grain, where they break off the husk on the outside of the grain. You heard? And they
Mm.
do it on a wheel. And that wheel and that process is inside the Bible, bro. Inside of the Bible in the Hebrew, it's in my book. I show people
Mm.
that ritual of preparing the grain is also in the cosmology rituals of acknowledging celestial systems. You heard? Whenever
Mm.
you hear of daughters, when it speaks about women and daughters in the Bible,
Mm.
they're speaking about celestial stations in the sky. You heard? because the deities of old were women who did the duty celestially for you when you call upon them. Right now, we in a major March Madness. This is her holiday, Ishtar, Astarte.
Ishtar.
Easter's coming up, you heard?
Ishtar.
Since March 1st, shit been cracking. Am I lying?
You ain't lying, bro.
Since March 1st, shit been cracking. Ask the people in Colorado, you heard? Ask Atlanta, ask Colorado, ask people, all, locations all throughout the country. Why is it cracking like this? Because of what? Venus, you heard? Celestial stations in the sky have precedence over human affairs and how they behave. You heard? So when people was asking for protection, when you asking the people like, oh, creator protect me, creator protect me, creator protect me. I need creator bless, you calling on the celestial deification of the goddess. You heard? In a celestial plane. And when you see her images, you see her standing on lions, you heard, which is a celestial symbol, or you'll see her standing on alligators, you heard, which is a symbol of time. And then she got 8-pointed stars around her, and then she'll have arrows because she's getting at your enemies, you heard. But to access her, you got to go to celestial stations in the sky, but it have to correspond to your stomach. You feel me? So when they be like this, people is crazy. They be doing a bunch of rituals. I be like, okay, what's the pilgrims culture? Their culture is this the filtered versions of what we used to do. So instead of eating the ritualized ram or goat, they go into the church and go get a piece of Jesus. The cracker, they put the cracker on the shit and drink the nigga blood. I'm like this. Yo, they something else for that, right? They ain't help, son. They ain't pull them off the thing. Ain't no narrative about that. What about, see, if we had a Jesus, and this is when I become my asshole, I'm stupid for this, but if our Jesus would be like this nigga, and if they put me on a cross, come around the corner and hit all of them niggas up and get me off that shit. You heard? For real. Or Jesus would have his girlfriend with him. You heard? A woman with him like this. Y'all not finna do this to Jesus. You got me fucked up. You heard? Then she start throwing shit at them. You heard? And that'll be in the Bible. You heard? And that's how they got out of that. But now we got this mind fuck where they're delineating time based off of a myth of somebody that got sacrificed, bro, in front of humans. That is, they got your kids in school talking about, well, they call the shit 25 BC. Tell us what the fuck the year is. You heard? 2500 BC, 3000 years BC. Well, they say in Anno Domini and all this so stupid ass shit, and I'm like this. We got colonizers in our mind that got in one hand a goddamn calendar, you heard? For real. And then we got in the other hand, they got a pointer pointing us at everything that we can accomplish or bring it to fruition come out of their shit, not us. It's interesting. For real. It's interesting at best.
Yo, I seen art. I seen life imitate art. When you had the Alistair Whoopi, then Whoopi had on the Masonic sweater, I think, or something she had on that was Masonic on the View, and they was getting at her for that. And the first thing I thought of,
shout out to my brother, the brother 19 Keys put me on to that.
Okay.
He had sent it to me, and I appreciated him put me on to that. And when I saw it, I said, "Wow, look at this." That, and I was kind of, Whoopi Goldberg. One of the nuanced things is that she's born on my birthday. I'm born on her birthday. She older than me. You heard? And she's an icon. You heard? So, and I see her, I see her Scorpio tendencies as a goddess. I see how she's been navigating throughout the world. And she's lit. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
She's lit, right? But then when I seen the people who was mad, and I was like, y'all niggas is crazy, especially Black Masonry. Y'all need to shut y'all asses up. You heard? I seen the
Mm-hmm.
type of the instances people were sitting up talking about they offended. And I'm like this, I'm offended by how Black Masonry done turned into tailgate parties. Them
Mm.
niggas ain't doing nothing spiritual at all. You heard?
Mm.
You would think it'd be a bunch of Black Masons in the motherfucking lectures, in the lecture halls.
It's
You heard?
facts.
I thought
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I thought the Black Masonic shit was like, oh, that's a blackness upgrade. No, that could be another prison for these niggas' minds. You heard?
Mm.
And then Eastern Star's talking out of order. The Eastern Star, you a patron of a Masonic person. You heard? That's how you
Mm-hmm.
become an Eastern Star. You would have to have somebody a third degree master mason. You heard? Would have to, it's like, and I'm like, this Black people is crazy, and knowing this too. Black people are so crazy in need of so much union that there are more fake lodges of masonry that are Black fake lodges of masonry than there are actual real lodges on the planet, bro.
Mm. Damn.
You heard what I said?
Yeah.
That
Say it
niggas
again.
got
Yeah.
more fake lodges than there are actually lodges on the planet, bro.
On the planet. That's crazy.
So what is the need for us to always have this union? I think it's something intrinsic into the human experience. We the people with the less need the most unity. You heard? So I'll be
Mm.
like, what the fuck with some Black people? As soon as they see something like that, they would just start hating on niggas. You heard? The white folks ain't say shit. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And I'm like
Mm-hmm.
this, and really true high levels, because it's levels to this shit. Everybody that's a Mason ain't the same level type of Mason. I wouldn't give a fuck. You heard what nobody tell me. If you got your degree work in Germany while you was in the service, right? That charter is different. You heard? That shit is better than a nigga that got a charter and his lodge, they could barely keep the lights on in the building, and all of the people in the motherfucking lodge is a goddamn bus driver. You heard? That's it.
Mm. Yeah.
You heard? Something like this. Somebody spent cash at my brother. They did it wrong.
That's
So somebody
wrong.
trying to be funny. Yeah,
That's
them niggas is crazy. That
what
ain't my
shit.
cash app. My shit is $ S Prince
S
111.
Prince. Okay. Dollar
Yeah,
sign
they sending
S.
somebody else some change.
Prince.
That shit ain't me. That's supposed to say Shauna Prince when it come up.
Right. Right.
You heard?
Right.
For
Right.
real.
Right.
Let me see. Can I put a word in there? Where can I type some shit at?
Um. It should be on. You should see it right on the screen. It says post a comment. Right underneath the chat, it should say post a comment. You could post. You could put whatever you want.
Comments.
Family, what's up, man? It's late. It's almost midnight. We got about 1,300
But my
people.
folks, this
Yeah.
is how I do this. Look, people
Yeah.
could go right to the to the Instagram and see my shit is right there in my description. You heard?
Right. Okay.
Clean.
Good. Good. Good.
There you go.
Good.
There you go. There you go. Afro Ninja 916 is a legend. Thank you. For real. Yeah, get that soccer tree right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get that. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm of the mind. What we was talking about?
I done lost my train of thought writing this cash app in. I'm sorry, brother.
That's good. That means that we could talk about anything now. Shit.
Oh, Rich had it
For
right.
real.
I don't. It's hard, family. It's hard talking and then navigating the chat and all that at the same time. But listen, I want to thank everybody. Before we get out of here, I want you to show us some clothing, bro. Show me some stuff,
Okay.
man. You got some stuff with you? Because you
Let
got
me
some
show
fly
you this.
stuff, man.
Let me
And
show you
you
this.
got to
This is
send me some. Hey, I ain't getting
I
nothing in
will.
a while, brother. When you gonna send me something, man?
I got you. I got you tomorrow. You ain't said nothing slick. I
I'll
got you.
wear it on my
Look,
next show. As soon as I get it,
look,
I'm gonna wear it on my
look.
show.
This is for
Yeah.
my real hipster crowd right here.
Well, what does that say? What is that? Oh yeah, that's some real hipster thing. I don't.
I'm an asshole.
Don't send that one to me, bro. I can't.
I know. But look who it is. Look who it is. You
I don't
remember
even
this scene in the movie, The Shining?
Oh, right.
That's her
Oh,
taking a
you a
cigarette
legend.
break.
You a
That's her
legend,
taking.
man.
That's her taking a cigarette break. You heard?
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's the type of shit I do. Boom. Then I just did this right here. This is I call this the champagne colored bolo sport. You heard? It's a suit. It's the sweater.
Oh,
It's
it's
the
the
sweater.
whole.
You heard?
Yeah.
It's the
Fire.
sweater. Right?
Fire.
And then it come with the shorts. You heard? Bing.
Fire.
You feel me? Like
Yeah.
this. The good boys with the pockets, the back pocket and all that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we doing that. Then I got the suit. Of course, the same thing with the Larry Davis gun club. You got to let people know what it is, man. You know what I mean? What happened? Yeah. Shout out to Larry Davis, for real. God bless the dad. I promise you. And then, I got some exclusive drip for them people that's really, if you about that life, you know what I mean? I don't know, on that Ralph, you know what I mean? You feel me? So we doing what we want.
Right.
With the culture. You feel me?
Right.
I promise you. And this is right on time, because you see what they doing with our brothers and sisters of the Asian world. You heard? Seeing what happens with the racist rhetoric, you heard, and how they had to sell the skeeter going on with all this shit. All this skeeter. I want you to be able to post this on the YouTube, so we ain't gonna talk crazy, But I'm like this. You see how all that racial shit that was generated, connecting people to what's going on with the vid and all that. You know what I mean? Like this is now they trying to create and generate this whole shit where people is trying to isolate our Asian brothers and sisters and violate them. You heard? So that we all connected, in this kush, the Nagas. You heard? The Nagas.
Indeed.
You heard? Those is our folks. So this right here, Bolo Sport, is right on time,
Yo, why somebody keep asking me to ask you about some time machines? Is anything happening with your time machines in Atlanta that
that's very good.
All right, who's this? Because this person I keep seeing this. You said okay, yeah.
Yes, I told them to remind me to speak about the time machine, right?
Yeah. What's going on with that?
Do you remember? How old are you, Rich?
39.
Okay, I'm 46 years old. When I was young, they had the Atlanta child murders.
I do remember that.
And the Atlanta child murders, if you go look up the FBI papers, it's so much pages blackened out. You heard? Regarding the case. But the through line, all black people, right? Young black people, right? And then surgical procedures, and then all of their air was taken out of their body, you heard? With no signs of strangulation, you heard? Some instances, surgical procedures done on the bodies, right? So I'm like this. When you go to places, and Atlanta is a very interesting place. Do you know that there's a flight to anywhere you want to go in the world in Atlanta? It's almost like the Suez Canal for flights. It's also the port of entry. They say it's one of the most significant ports of entry for dope and drugs and shit. It's the A. You heard? Right? And the energy there, if you're not hip, you surrounded by trees. I ain't never seen that many motherfucking trees in my life until you go to Georgia. You heard? So now there's a significance of why there was a prolonged period, a long period of them killing ritualistically people of color in Atlanta, you heard, in close proximity to all type of spiritual locations and points of reference dealing with them rocks formations, you heard. And I'm gonna tell you, there are jump points on this planet, and that they have been dealing with and augmenting time for the longest, and they do it vicariously through experimentation and the death and killing of black people. You heard? We are always oftentimes used as points of reference, and this shit borders on, people will say that, nigga, oh you bugging, oh you bugging. No, I'm not bugging, nigga. I'm not bugging. I know that there's nothing that evil is not original to the white man. You heard? I know what can exist in this world. You heard? And if you think that we have not already been living in a simultaneous universe of the present, past, and the future, and that they have augmented time already, then niggas is crazy. A sister told me one time the reason why they wearing all these masks and shit right now is because of you fuck around and bump into yourself and recognize yourself. You heard? And all of this shit is a distraction to get people to wear masks because they done fucked around and advanced experimentation on acceleration and time acceleration. You heard? So if people are really, and I meant to say this, I was in the spirit told me to say this. I was promoting for the show. I said, Spirit told me to say this because I had a refined doctrine that was exploring and speaking about that. And you remember years ago we used to participate in the dialogue with Peter Moon and them. You heard?
Right.
And how they talk about the Montauk chair. You heard?
Yeah.
And about the Philadelphia experiment. You heard? These are, who are we to think that these experimentation in time is not presently in existence? And then we have a culture, we have a deaf culture where they can augment time now by focusing the attention of the populace via media. They can augment time and effectively create new occurrences in a. Have you ever heard of this thing? It's called Aladdin. Have you ever heard of this search engine? It's called Aladdin.
No.
Okay, so if me and you got a bankroll, we can ask Aladdin a question, and the computer has data of 50 years of all human interactions, right? And if we can pay the price, we can ask the computer a question and it'll give us the answer, and then we pay for the answer. This is why Donald Trump became the president. Donald Trump became the president, but Donald Trump was in the president. That nigga was the president in a movie, son, when I was little. You heard? And the movie was about time travel, bro. You heard? The shit was called Back to the Future too. You heard? Michael J. Fox got Parkinson's disease fucking around with that narrative and fucking around with the narrative that he used to play in. You heard? That shit has augmented his physical composition. They've been fucking jettisoning him in narrative form back and forth through the future with that light ass substantia nigra, that you lose particles and you lose your existence traveling through time. Now I sound like a little kid right now with my imagination.
Nah, not at all, brother. Speak.
I
Not at
promise
all,
you,
bro.
bro. I promise you, bro. I promise you, I swear to God, there's no such thing as the present, bro. We in a simultaneous past and future all the time. And that the white man manipulate the present, past, and the future with computers, bro. You heard? And they have a registry for trauma, black trauma, traumatic events. They hone in on that shit. The shit can register on the stock exchange. You heard? And then they got businesses established on every time a nigga kills another nigga. You heard? It's a 2-in-1. You heard? So I'm like this, studying the dominance hierarchy structures of how humans deal with each other. I said to myself, I don't want to be in the bottom of a dominance hierarchy structure, knowing that these niggas that's running around calling themselves gangsters in them streets is working for the motherfucking time acceleration devices. You heard?
Phew.
It be energy grabs. Niggas be thinking that you get in an argument with somebody in one of these states that let people have guns and it registers scientifically. There's some type of device that can measure angst from one nigga to another, and when the event horizon happens and a nigga dies, it registers spiritually and physically somewhere, and somebody's benefiting from that shit, bro. You heard?
Whew.
So I said to myself, fuck the gangster shit. I don't want to hear nothing about no nigga think they tough no more, bro. You heard? I don't know enough niggas that got enough love in them to talk to me these days. You heard? To even be around a nigga like me. You feel me? Because I'm like this. I done seen so much evil, and then I seen people be evil when they ain't got no resources and they ain't had no recourse. I'm like, these niggas is lucky. Everybody alive right now is lucky to be alive, bro. You niggas got the computer. When I was little, you had to go to the library, son, and read a book, or get punched in your face when you make a mistake. Yeah. Now you can make a mistake, bro, and you can go look in Google, and Google will tell you some shit. Don't do that again. You heard? So I'm sitting here, I'm like this, I'm doing the knowledge, and I'm like, humans ain't shit, bro. In a wild way, that the best friends that you got is your people's 10 toes down to you, and the people that support the good tidings of this. I don't want no volatile niggas around me, son. We could be talking about all the deep shit and all that, but if you have some volatile niggas around you, you fuck around and be participating in a goddamn science experiment in time acceleration. You heard? Bro, a nigga be to push your shit back, and neither one of you niggas is gonna benefit from it. The shit is accelerating time. So I'm looking at that movie Tenet. In the movie, they running around with masks and shit on so that they don't see each other. They double in the future. You heard? Yo, I swear, if another motherfucker tell me that I look like the nigga Caesar from the Black Ink shit, I'm like this. I was in a 99-cent store, bro, and a couple was following me on the phone, and they was like this, telling somebody that, look at I think they was about to make fun of Caesar because he was in the 99-cent store. Because I'm in a 99-cent store get some avocados, nigga. You heard?
Right.
And it was like, oh, we thought you was Caesar from the thing. I was like, oh, okay, no, that ain't me. You heard?
Right.
You know how many people look like you? If you look back in time, you'll see an image of somebody that looked like you. I know a sister right now that I told her this, that I seen her in a movie, and the movie was from the 1950s. You heard? And she's in the fucking movie. And then this defies reasoning. And Rashid, you stupid, you bugged out. I'll be like, nah. Quantitatively, y'all speaking to me and to each other. We speaking like white folks to each other. We've removed imagination and spirituality from this. We don't see the biosphere. We don't know that the plants have an intelligence that don't require brains. They speaking to one another. Then I got niggas that ain't scared to kill you and me, but they scared to take a mushroom. You heard? The nigga won't take a mushroom trip. That shit used to kill me. I'm like, this nigga is the same nigga that's not afraid to murder you, though. You heard? But he won't murder the conscious mind within himself that stands on an underdeveloped ego. So I'm here as I'm an ego developer. That's my job. My job is here. I'm here in service of the artist, unapologetic, I'm hiding the motherfucker. This shit is kicking in, boy. Shout out to my man. That nigga, boy.
We almost done, brother. Don't worry.
That shit kicked in just now. Listen, unapologetically, I'm here as an advocate for the artist, and that the language that we speak is a language that transcends the limits imposed on the language that's given to us by the oppressor. We express ourselves through song, we express ourselves through art, and we hustling, and we ain't never gonna be hungry for no motherfucking body. It's that socketry, you heard? I need that circuitry. We could be talking all this positive shit in the world. You know this, Rich. We know all it. We niggas could be like this nigga. I know the distance between here and there, but it don't make no difference if a nigga don't know the difference between the space in his pocket and his stomach and his mind. What is the difference? What is the distance, my nigga, between your hand, your pocket, your mouth, your hand, food? Like this. Boom, 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 boom. If you ain't got that, you ain't got shit. I don't want to hear none of that spiritual ass shit. Yo, I'll be around, yo. You know when I had the best time in my life, it's when I be around people that ain't trying to spiritualize the shit out of a nigga. I just see the rich homies, my rich homies in them that get a few dollars, and you just see people activate the principle of confidence, Godfidence. Confidence, Godfidence is the most things that you can get out this spiritual practice. Consciousness is about how you feel about yourself. I wouldn't give a fuck about all of that deep shit. We can sound like psychologists and break everybody down
Bro.
and be like, oh, this
Yo,
is
I
your
was
thing.
just saying that to myself earlier, brother. That's the message. Say that again, brother.
Yeah.
This
That
confidence shit.
it's confidence. That's why we access consciousness. I don't want to know. I don't want to get to see they done trick people into thinking this, that consciousness is whoever could find 5-pointed stars and evil shit. You heard? That's your new job now, nigga. Your new job is the answer for everything that niggas do. Yo, the other day, I'm down at Lamert Park, and one of the homies asked me what I feel about the little homie's video, and I never seen no video. I didn't even know he made a video. You heard? And I said, Little Nas X. I said, Little Nas X, that ain't even no person. Little Nas X is a meme. Little Nas X is the Nicki Minaj fan page. That's the greatest person. That's the person who made the Nicki Minaj fan. He had the greatest fan page for Nicki Minaj. He turned that shit into a career. You heard? And then he mind fucked everybody. He gave niggas 3 generations of black experiences. He called himself the little, the now. The Nas is the era, my era, when we grew up, and the X is the era, Malcolm X and them. You heard? This little nigga used trolling and used some nuanced young people shit. They know how to get at each other on the internet. You heard?
Yeah.
And know how to manipulate that shit. Now back to Donald Trump. Donald Trump had to. Do you know that he lost about $8 million, I think, from the Japanese playing poker, right? In the Caesar, in the what you call it, in Atlantic City, right? Or one of them shits. He almost went bankrupt fucking with the Japanese. The Yakuza had killed the dude. You heard when he lost the poker chips and all that, like a master poker player, right? He went to a computer to get the algorithm for when this poker dude was gonna lose, and then to keep staying in the game, and then he won but never got his money because the Yakuza killed the dude. So he used the same metric to ask Aladdin how to win the presidency a long time ago. It probably told him, you're gonna need a cartoon, you're gonna need The Simpsons, you're gonna need to appear in a movie, and you're gonna need to have a certain catchphrase. The phrase being make and look at the how many syllables and all that. Make America great again, right? Subconsciously, those is imprints in the mind. You heard? I promise you, bro. They got us ready for Barack Obama with Mr. T. Mr. T was the symbol that they was going to be Barack Obama. Both their names is the same. B.A. Baracus. You heard? They both from Chicago at that. You heard? And they was getting us ready. And then they was like this. Anytime, this is what the black man represent to the white male psychology. anytime the white man have to do something in this world, he got to put the black man to sleep. They could not never travel and get on a plane unless they was in the black man mind. Everybody's in our mind while we're sleeping, bro. You heard? So the safest. So when the little homie said, "Yo, man, yo, did you see what Lil Nas X did?" I said, "What'd he do?" Right? He said, "Man." I said, "Okay, I already know the little nigga nasty." I said, "Okay, so what you telling me about it for? I don't know nothing about that. What the fuck I look like, right? Boom. And I'm not finna know nothing about it, right? So I'm like this. Whenever, and I said to myself, this is what I learned from this, is that whenever the black man has to go outside of his culture to get attention, it's attention-seeking behavior. And it's a neurosis that is from post-slave neurosis. You heard? And the white folks will facilitate you in your post-slave neurosis and let the whole world, right, participate along with you in your attention-seeking behavior, and they'll put a metric on it. You heard? And this is always the this is like falling on a sharp instrument, man. You know what I mean? When you seek, when you need so much attention. This is what I was speaking to the sister earlier. One of my, well, she's actually an elder, and she's in the community. And we were speaking about signatures in the sky. We're speaking about the Leo signature, and we're speaking about the ego. And we were speaking about we not into suppressing ego, we into venerating ego. And we were like this, our underdeveloped ego, right, needs attention. And it's like a baby running around with a sharp instrument. Who lets their child run around with a knife in their hand? You heard? And that's what the ego is. And after a while, you like this. You remember when you was a kid, you go grab something, and this is how you learn about the world. You pick it up and your mama be like, put that down. You heard? That's a knife, right? But if ain't nobody there to tell you that, you're going to be running around with the shit and seeking attention to learn, underdeveloped, and then one day you fall on the instrument, impale yourself, and you might not live through that. You heard? You might not survive that. So whenever you see, and and we got to be very careful when we see our people act out. You heard? That's not our business. We don't know him, but that's our son still. These people are extensions of our experience. You heard? Right? So you got to be, when you see the attention-seeking behavior, you don't become like a pilgrim and do you don't point it out and be like, look at you, stupid. Look at you. You ain't shit. You heard? We got a litany of that. People, and I'm like this, why would a nigga tell me some shit about some shit? What you want me to be mad at some nigga that I don't even know what the fuck these niggas been through to make a nigga be who they are today? You heard? That ain't none of my motherfucking business, low key. You feel me? What I'm saying? So I'm like this, attention-seeking behavior. Then the other thing that befalls and plagues our people is this. Do you know that our neurons in our brain for determining social interactions is the same as crustaceans? It's the same as crabs. Science has proven this, right? So your behavior is reminiscent of this, and they've studied this, that when crabs in their dominance hierarchy, when they're fighting one another, if a crab flips a crab over on its back, it's defenseless. You heard? When they fight, if it flips another one over on its back, it's defenseless. Do you know that in the moment that it starts losing, the crab that fell on his back starts developing a passive role in their dominance hierarchy? It says that I have now defeated myself, and now I've been defeated, so now I act defeated. You heard? And humans do this. I was like this. Niggas be, yo, bro, I'm telling you, we got to talk about this to the young people. They need to stop pump faking with that real nigga and that gangster fake shit. That shit is homoeroticism. It's a nigga trying to dominate you, bro. I don't want no niggas around me that think that they tough guys, because I see what you're trying to do to me, nigga. You're trying to dominate me with that bullshit. You heard?
Mm.
You see? You feel me? So I'm
Mm.
like this. Real niggas. Real niggas, where they at? I don't want to be around no nigga that think he's a real nigga. You heard? Because you trying to dominate me in a dominance hierarchy. You trying to flip a nigga on their back so I could be defenseless. And then I be in the model, right? Acting like this. And then this is why you got a whole culture of young people defeated at home. The parents is defeating the children at home. You done defeated your child at home. All these evil ass parents talk about some kid is bad. Your motherfucking mama and your daddy ain't shit. You heard?
Mm.
They defeated you. They they said fuck your ego. Suppress your shit into religion. Go in there and do their homework and do them white people words. Beat you into submission with myths in your mind and all that. So that by the time you get outside, you create a whole artificial world where you now in a different dominance hierarchy. You could be a grown ass man with a son, and your son is calling some nigga the big homie.
Mm.
I'm like this, serious, right? So why? Why does your son have to find himself in a hierarchical structure just to validate his own existence? You see,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a lack of knowledge. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I said, fuck that. I'm out of there. You heard? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
participating. You heard? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no niggas around me tough. I swear to God, I can't stand those niggas. Because when the pilgrims come, when the white man say freeze like this,
Mm-hmm.
these niggas go like this, Rich. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
When you go like this, yo, bro, why don't y'all chill? Stop fighting. You fuck around, get killed trying to break up a nigga fight. You heard?
Mm.
It's mad. It's a litany of that. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the best shit to do? I ain't breaking up no motherfucking fights. I'm getting the fuck away from volatile situations. For real. Yo, word is born. I and Los Angeles, the safest place I ever been with the most activity with blackness is Lamert Park. You heard?
My homie was just telling me about Lamert Park. Yeah.
Bro, because there's so much culture over there. There's so much culture over there, and there's so much blackness that people can identify some stupid shit before it happened. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
And the brothers will go and address a situation right then in real time. You heard?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that the shit don't escalate and go no place else. It's really it's a real village. You heard? It's a real village. It's really, it has that quality involved in it. And that's the only place that I really feel safe. You heard? I don't feel safe on Hollywood Boulevard. You
Mm.
heard? And it's too many dominance hierarchies and weirdos. People over there want to be seen. Motherfucker want to be seen at the expense of you. World star, all that stupid shit. I ain't with it. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll
Facts,
be
yeah.
like this. We could be deep. Do you know how that feel, bro? To be sitting up, you done read all them books. You deep, you deep, you deep. You a good brother. You did all this. You smart. Your kids is wise and all that. But as soon as you go outside, you gotta turn into a quote unquote real nigga just to get to the store to go get your kids Pampers or some shit. You got to now participate in some shit like that. I'm like, nah, nigga, that's unsafe. That's not a safe communication. So we got so many maladies and so much shit befalling our people, but no safe ways of communicating to one another. How do I address this issue, bro? Right here. And I shout out to my little homies. One of my little mans in Canarsie Flatbush area hit me and was like, yo, thank you for telling me about the dominance hierarchy. I got out of that shit and it saved my life, Rashid. I did not know that I was participating in the dominance hierarchy. And the niggas that I was participating in it is gone. Them niggas is gone. One of the niggas is losing their life and losing their freedoms and their liberties. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be real niggas. So we could do, so this is what the consciousness, the brother Rashid conversation segues to me being able to speak to the less fortunate. I don't want your kids to be outside acting like no real niggas, man.
Mm.
At the wrong time. Doing the right shit at the wrong time around the wrong people will get you sent right up. You heard?
Ooh.
Fuck that.
Right shit at the wrong time with the. I don't even know what you just said, but it was fly.
That's the drugs, bro. I can't even say it again.
It was fly. Right shit,
Yo,
wrong time with the wrong people. That
come
was
on,
fly. Man.
come on. So I'm like
Hey,
this. Yeah.
yeah, we got 5 more minutes left. So I
Okay.
want you to wrap it up for the people in 5 minutes. Yeah.
So I want to say this to the people. I want y'all to do. I want you to do a love drive-by in your house. Tell the people that's right. Fuck all this conscious, scary ass shit. They want us to be scared of each other. Scared. We scared. We scared. We scared. We scared. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I got a disease. I'm scared and all this shit. Now we finna die. No, do the love drive-by. Run down on niggas with love. I love you. You heard? I love the family. I love the concept of communication, safe communication. When you run into an obstacle with people and they don't want to adjust their shit to our sentiments, then maybe it's an issue within they self that they got to deal with. And maybe perhaps if the creator opened the door for them to address it, they'd be good. But wake up tomorrow feeling like you're not in trouble, especially to the young black men. You heard? You waking up every single day because you watch the news, you think you in trouble. Every time some shit happen to somebody black or somebody black do some shit, I'm not the go-to guy to answer that shit. I don't give a fuck. You heard? My job is to what you call it? Is to change gravity, change the gravity, you heard, on this planet as it pertains to me. You heard? And always monitor the distance between my heart and my mind and my pocket and my motherfucking food, my stomach. You heard? That's it, man. No waking up in trouble. You're not in trouble. And everybody that if you patronized me before and you bought something from me before and you waiting for something, you know you always gonna get it. You know you always got it. And I love you and I really appreciate this platform, and you a king, bro. For inviting me on here and everybody.
This is my throne. This is my throne, and behind me, that's my throne right there.
You a legend. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh man. Hey, family, I want to
we appreciate you. For real.
Indeed.
Sock it to his pocket. For real. Where they think we get what? Come on. How you keep them nice lights on, my brother?
Hey, there you go.
Sock it to his pocket, man, like a rocket.
Like a rocket. There you go, man. Shit.
Yes. Like that. Yeah.
Yo, you got any books coming out anytime soon? And any other books
That's the art I used for the flyer. It's the myth making manual.
The myth making manual. Yo, you didn't. Yo, hey, you went into I think it was called the Loki, your imagination, and you lost your train of thought, and you started talking about your traumatic experiences. But that was deep when you touched on that. When you was like going the door in the library, 5th floor, the 5th page, and then you was like, you keep doing that, and he was like, the more you do that, it's easier to manifest in this realm. I guess it's because you're using such detailed imagery. You're mastering.
And that's the root of this part of Jewish mysticism called throne mysticism. The fact that you said throne, that and the chariot mysticism is two, right? And the chariots is the imaginary world of the chariot of you being able to biolocationally be places. The military use that.
Yes, sir.
The military use that to this day. They got a whole branch and they had sciences on that where you can leave your body and through biolocation find out where somebody is at. You could do this with the next time you with your whiz and say, you know, when y'all be shopping and they go this way, you go that way, and you be like, this is where you at. Instead of us trying to figure out where you at, turn on
your mind.
I see it used to call it flawless navigation. I see the Duketeers. He used to be like this. This before niggas was going on the phone and you could get the walking directions somewhere. He was like, nah, indigenous people all follow flawless navigation. They just knew where they were at all the time and were able to project themselves where they needed to be. For real. For real. And I needed to be here today. I promise you I appreciate you, King. For real, in real time.
Yo, this is a legendary interview, bro. You dropped some major gems today, bro. I had a feeling you was gonna drop major gems when I talked to you on the phone. That's why I was like, yo, I said, hey, you need to make a flyer for this one. I knew you had to make it fly. And yo, you ain't disappointing, brother. I appreciate the gems. Y'all make sure you support this brother. This brother's a walking genius amongst us. Hit up his Instagram. It's on the screen. AA Rashid Art. You can get all his clothing and merch there. The brother also has a Cash App if you would like to support him. $ S Prince 111, right?
Yeah. And shout out to all my students. Shout out to my students, Kafra. Shout out to John and Avery. You heard? And them brothers, because I'm looking towards seeing them write their books. When Avery finish his book, we all gonna be buying his book. When Kafra write his book, I'm looking to the future, bro. My students are sharper than me, bro. I promise you.
Dope.
I promise you. And it's mad at them. Asa Bay in Detroit. Super genius. You heard? Ask KT about Asa. They've been working together. Asa need to be on here. For real. He's speaking to the people in Detroit, and they need that. Detroit is one of our locations where authenticity in the African American experience derived out of. You heard?
Dope, family. Hey, yo, once again, thank you, my brother, family. Thank you. We got a nice live stream. We still got about 1,200 people here. We getting out of here, family.
Big homie Rod Cool. Shout out to big homie Rod Cool and Oba. We love y'all. Red and Blue Pill, and especially Black Dot, the Saint. That's the legend.
Indeed. I gotta call Rod Cool. I gotta get Rod Cool and KT. I'm gonna call you tomorrow, KT. I was supposed to been hit KT back, but Rod Cool, I gotta get the brother Rod Cool back on here. I haven't talked to that brother in a while. The brother be giving me some amazing readings, bro. Like that dude is.
He saved my life. He saved my life. He saved my life. Him and Oba quite a few times.
Dope.
But the one with the time machine is Rod Cool. Rod Cool got the time machine.
Hey, you right.
I got the time machine.
You right. Because when now that I think about a reading from Rod Cool, I can see why you say that. But shout out to Rod Cool, the brother Oba, and everybody out there doing what they do, man. We got some geniuses in this community, man. We got some amazing geniuses, man. So yeah, we get out of here, family, man. Amazing show, man. Oh man, this is a classic. Make sure you download it. I don't think YouTube ain't gonna take it down because I'm gonna put that energy.
Yeah, we weren't talking crazy.
Yeah, we wasn't. So we good. But listen, this brother Rich, aka Father Rich, aka Black Magic, AA Rashid. Peace.
Salute.